What's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all for tuning back in. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Adidas Harden 9.
Phone started jumping, what it.
First off, shout out my boy Harden for becoming an all-star. If a lot of you guys don't know, Harden is my favorite player and has been my favorite player for a while now, and I love to see my man get his just due. He's been hooping for the Clippers this whole season. Hopefully they can finish it out. And secondly, the trades, man. I know y'all seen them. That Luka to the Lakers and 80 to the Mavs is crazy. Me and my brother was watching Nas vs. Frigo on the next chapter, and then that trade kicked in, and then it was just jaw-dropping. The Heat got Davion and Andrew Wiggins. I like the fact that D Fox is over there in the Spurs. I think that's a good fit. I think Zach LaVine to the Kings is pretty good. All the trades seem like they've been pretty good, to be honest, except for that Warriors trade. I'm just concerned on the offense of what that's going to be. Defense, I think they're going to be straight. All right, starting us off, I talk about the sizing and the price of the Harden 9, and I recommend that you guys, if you guys are standing feet like me, to go true to size, because you guys are going to have a good amount of toe space. If you guys are wide footers and want a little bit of extra space on the size of your feet, then get away with going half a size. If you guys like a little bit of extra space on the size of your feet for wide footers, go up half a size. If not, if you guys are, like I said, standing feet like me, true to size is going to be perfectly fine. It's not going to be too tight. You guys are going to have a good amount of toe space. The pricing for the Harden Volume 9 is going to stick around that true price of $160. I believe the Harden Volume 7, 8, and now 9 are all $160. Moving on to the style of the Harden 9, I'm going to give these an 8.5 out of 10. It's so funny because the Harden 7, I think the Harden Volume 8 was different, but the Harden 7 had this same type of colorway. I think Harden's a big fan of this silver grayish metallic type of colorway. Regardless of that, I really like how the colorway shines, but I love how the material on here shines. I know it is a synthetic and textile upper. I'm really trying to figure out the material for this, but it feels very unique. My only issue with the material, it's not a big one or anything, it is very creaseable. I don't know if you guys see that, but if you guys were to run and jump off the balls of your feet as you guys do, as you guys see, easily creaseable. Damn, most shoes don't do that or anything like that. So that's why I was trying to figure out the material of this shoe. Now, trust and believe, Harden is one of those guys that has fire colorways on his shoes, so I already know he's gonna have some heat coming out with these. Up next, as some of you guys already know, we have my favorite category, which is the cushion, and I'm gonna give these a 7 out of 10. And I gotta say something real quick. Hey, Harden, Adidas line, what are we doing? The Harden 7s had, I think, like a 9 cushion. Harden 8s had a little drop off at an 8 cushion. Now the Harden 9s, we got a 7 cushion. Before I start griping about that, once you guys take the shoe outside the box, it's not gonna be too light, it's not gonna be too heavy, and also the forefoot flexion is gonna be pretty stiff until you guys put a lot of force behind it. Just like I mentioned before, as it gets creaseable, that's the only way it does that, when you guys put a lot of force behind it. What's crazy is, to me, in the cushion setup, it's a Boost midsole in here and light strike cushioning. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I can't feel it nowhere. As you guys are looking at the shoe here, it looks like it's no cushion or anything like that, and it looks like that, and it feels like that. It feels like it's absolutely no type of cushion inside this shoe. But it's crazy because it doesn't hurt or anything like that. While I had these shoes on my feet and I was hooping around shooting, I didn't feel any foot pain or anything like that, and I actually felt a decent amount of impact force protection upon jumping and landing. But this shoe ain't got no type of cushioning at all. It's more of a court feel shoe, so if you guys like a court feel type of shoe, you guys can go ahead and rock with these. Me personally, I need a little bit of boost off of the ground. I need a little bit of something just for my play style, because I'm always in the air and on the break, and I need something that's gonna hold me up. Now, if you guys have a crafty type of play style, which I think is gonna benefit a lot of those guys, like crafty bigs, crafty guards, and stuff like that, I think this shoe is gonna benefit you. If you guys are slashers or high flyers, I don't think this shoe is gonna benefit you like that. Like I mentioned before, 7 out of 10 isn't bad, and that's the only thing I would say about the Harden line. It's been pretty inconsistent with its cushion setup. Like, the best cushion setups for the Harden volumes have been the 4s, the 2s, the 3s. Like, the Harden 5s, 6s were pretty bad. The 7s were fire, amazing. 8s were pretty good. Now we hear the 7s that doesn't have much cushion. I don't want to deteriorate you guys away from this shoe, because it's just my personal opinion. Like I said, the 7 out of 10 isn't bad. It's just not where I would expect it to be at. And I would tell you guys, don't even try to hoop with this outside, because hooping on this on the hardwood isn't bad, but hooping on this on asphalt, don't do it. Up next, we have the traction of the Harden 9, and I'm gonna give these an 8 out of 10. You guys are gonna hear squeaking. As you guys are gonna notice about the traction pattern, it is a circular traction pattern design, and it's also a rubber outsole. Now, one thing I will tell you guys, these do attract a little bit of dust, but does a really good job of maintaining the grip and bite. As you guys would already assume, these are gonna perform really good on a high level court, NBA, overseas, college, even some high school courts that are very kept up, pristine courts. These are gonna perform really good. If you guys are like me, like most of us, we play on LA Fitness, 24-hour fitness, rec leagues, and sometimes the courts are semi-dusty. These are gonna perform good because that's the court that I perform on. They perform pretty good. Now, if you guys play on a very dusty court or your AC in your gym is off and the court is slippery, or even if you guys want to try and take these outside, these are not going to be that type of performance. So trust and believe me, do not perform on those. And like I mentioned before, do not take these outside. You guys can't feel the grooves on here until you get it, but they are very soft, which means they are going to weather away pretty fast on asphalt. And arguably, I would tell you guys not to take this type of shoe outside on asphalt because, like I said, it's going to weather away. You're going to lose all the money that you paid for in like 3 months, and you guys are probably going to be falling out there because this shoe does attract dust, so it is going to attract dirt and debris outside, which is going to be very hard to get out of the groove. So while I was hooping in these shoes for the traction, in my honest opinion, the best play style that I feel like would fit this shoe is like crafty scorers. Obviously, like Harden, put Bradley Beal in there, Zach LaVine, you can put like a Mike Conley. You know, you guys can put crafty guys. I think you guys are going to resonate with this traction pattern because being shifty isn't like your main concern. It's mostly like getting to your spots and just being, you know, a little bit crafty. And also, if you're crafty bigs, I think like Zubac, Hartenstein, I think players like that, the big guys are pretty crafty too. And I've seen Zubac wears this shoe all the time. J-Dub is another one. J-Dub is hooping in this shoe all the time. So if you guys have like that type of style play, these shoe traction wise is going to benefit you. So overall, the traction pattern is going to be a good one, especially if you guys move a lot north to south. If you do step backs, so overall the traction pattern is going to be a pretty good one, especially if you guys play north to south a lot. So if you do step backs in your game, it's going to benefit you. If you guys are big on doing snatchbacks and stuff like that, it's definitely going to benefit you, that north to south type of game. But other than that, like I said, the traction pattern is going to be a good one. That's on the list. We have the support of the Harden Vol.9. I'm going to give these an 8 out of 10. Inside this shoe, you guys are going to notice this woven sock-like material that I mentioned before is going to be in the past previous models, the Harden 7 and 8. These aren't going to give you any padding around the ankle, which I think is new. I don't know if it had in the Harden 8. You guys are going to get padding at the back of the Achilles heel, and you guys are going to get a good amount of padding at the back of the Achilles heel. So there's no padding around the ankle or the tongue, but in the back of the heel here, there is padding, which does feel pretty nice. Also, like I mentioned to you guys before, this woven-like material does a really good job of hugging around that ankle and foot, causing it to have a really good amount of snuggability. Y'all thought I was going to let that word go. You guys are going to get a good amount of hugging around that ankle and that foot for that snuggability. Another thing that I noticed that they did with the Harden Vol.9 that a lot of y'all might not notice, but if you've been reviewing shoes like me, you'll notice they cut down the lacing. Now, granted, the lacing is still a little bit long, but it's not as long as hell as it used to be. But they did a decent job of cutting it down. Ford is going to go very well and pair very well with the traction pattern for those crafty players. You guys don't really have to worry about ankle sprains or anything like that. Ending it off with the ranking of the Harden Vol.9, I'm going to give these a B-, which isn't bad, but it's not as good and where they should be at. Last year, I don't know if you guys watched my last year review video. I could probably put it at the annotation above if you guys want to, but I'm going to spoil it for you guys. It was an A-. The Harden 8 was an A-, and these are a B-, so you guys can kind of see the drop off of it. The styling alone, I really like the styling. It is going to catch your eye. The design pattern is different and unique. Drop off was the cushion aspect. Even though it has a boost in the midsole and light strike cushioning, which is one of Adidas' best cushioning, you guys aren't going to feel anything. It's going to be a court feel shoe. The traction pattern is going to be a decent one, like I mentioned to you guys. You guys are going to get here squeaking here and there. It's going to attract some dust, but it does have a really good job of maintaining the grip and bite. I would not recommend this outside because the grooves are not going to last and they're going to weather away very quickly. As always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, liking, commenting, and subscribing, doing my community posts, following me on the gram and TikTok and everything like that. I appreciate you guys for everything. I'm going to let Chauncey send us out, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one.
Got anything you want to add to it, Chauncey?
What? Is that your end intro?
Yeah, just the end intro.
Thank you for guys watching today's video. See you next in today's video. Bye.